Supermassive Games' 2015 hit Until Dawn was a surprising and entertaining interactive drama that pulled heavily from various horror subgenres and tropes to great effect, and though it's a much more brief affair than its predecessor, the Dark Pictures' Man of Medan is more of the same. This is by no means a bad thing, but if you were expecting Man of Medan to expand upon what Until Dawn brought to the table, you're likely to come away from it a little underwhelmed. The first entry in the Dark Pictures anthology, Man of Medan puts players in control of 4 American divers and their French Polynesian boat captain during an underwater expedition in search of a submerged World War II wreck. Things soon take a turn for the spooky when an encroaching storm and hostile locals force the group to become trapped aboard a decrepit military ship filled with long-dead crewmen and other assorted nightmares. Where Until Dawn had the benefit of a much longer runtime to build its mystery and throw twists at its players, Man of Medan does a comparatively admirable job with its average runtime of 4 to 5 hours per playthrough. There isn't as much time dedicated to getting to know these characters in a relatively safe environment, but then the game also doesn't waste much time in getting players to the scares that they're presumably here for. It also manages to throw players for a loop a number of times, introducing plenty of potential threats and red herrings across its short duration. You do still get a sense of who the characters are and the nature of their relationships with one another over the course of the game, it's just that you don't get long to familiarize yourself with them before their world is turned upside down. Now, the Dark Pictures' Man of Medan is heavily influenced by player choices, both in terms of dialogue and actions, and a range of endings and branching paths are on offer, allowing players to keep all the characters alive, none of the characters alive, or any outcome in between. As such, even with its shorter runtime, the game still manages to provide plenty of inherent replay value, and that's without bringing up its cavalcade of collectibles, including various clues that reveal more about the mystery of the game's primary setting, as well as prophetic pictures that give players glimpses of events that might come to pass. You might notice that these are all things that Until Dawn featured, and you'd be correct. Like I said, this is more of the same. Speaking of being more of the same, Man of Medan's core gameplay mechanics are very similar to those of Until Dawn. Not exactly the same, mind you, but very, very similar. Most of the time you'll be piloting your current character around the environment and interacting with various elements, be they clues or other characters, and these sections are fine for what they are, but they do feel like a bit of a step back from what Supermassive's previous work offered. Movement feels a touch more awkward, as I felt the characters were getting caught up on the environment far more regularly than those in Until Dawn, and while Man of Medan's fixed camera angles serve to set the tone and raise the tension of any given sequence, being unable to switch between multiple fixed camera angles makes for some really stilted navigation. Outside of these exploratory sequences, most of the mechanics on offer are variations on QuickTime events. You've got your fairly standard QTEs, where you need to press the matching button in a set amount of time or risk catastrophe, combat QTEs, where you need to aim at the on-screen target before pressing the relevant button, and stay calm QTEs, which are the most unique gameplay element that Man of Medan brings to the table. In lieu of the unpleasant hold still mechanic from Until Dawn, which relied on spotty motion controller inputs, Man of Medan introduces an almost rhythm game-like mechanic where you have to match the character's heart rate in tense situations. It may be a small touch, but this is easily the game's biggest improvement over the otherwise unchanged Until Dawn formula. On that note, it's hard to look at Man of Medan and not think of it as Diet Until Dawn. For instance, while its characters are still brought to life with top-notch facial capture and the performances from Man of Medan's actors get the job done, the game's visuals don't quite hold up as well as you might hope. Constant frame rate issues and the odd case of texture pop-in manage to distract from Man of Medan's otherwise impressively detailed environments, while the occasionally stilted body animations, most notably when your characters get stalled on the environment, do take a little something away from the spectacle overall, which is disappointing considering how well the game's predecessor performed. But to be honest, the issues I have with the Dark Pictures' Man of Medan are mostly the result of it having to follow Until Dawn, which, admittedly, is a hard act to follow. As I've said, the game is more of the same, but there are a few little things here and there that feel like shortcomings alongside its predecessor. On its own merits, Man of Medan is an enjoyable horror romp that offers plenty of replay value and entertaining scenarios for fans of the genre, and it even adds a new way to play with its online or pass-the-controller-style co-op offerings. These co-op modes aren't all that different to simply passing the controller between players when playing Until Dawn, but it does make it a little less awkward in person, while the online mode is appreciated, even if I personally doubt that it's something I would ever use. On that note, the Dark Pictures' Man of Medan is good. Man of Medan manages to capture a little of the magic that made Until Dawn so enjoyable, but there are a handful of things that keep it from being truly excellent, both technically and mechanically. With that said, I thoroughly enjoyed my time with the game. Its narrative still managed to keep me guessing until its final act, and it definitely provided a lot more frequent scares than Until Dawn, despite being a much shorter experience. Now, your opinion on jump scares will alter how you feel about that fact, but there you go. If you loved Until Dawn, you're most likely going to find something to enjoy here, but if you haven't played that, then the Dark Pictures' Man of Medan serves as the next best interactive drama on the market, horror-themed or otherwise.